Hi, this is Jeff Morin from UrgentResponse.net, your CPR, first aid, safety, and wellness instructor. I love to come out and teach classes in person, so at any time, give me a call at 978-335-5300. You can text me at that number as well, or you could send me an email at jeff@urgentresponse.net. And now let's start today's JR Morin 1 podcast. Today we're talking about personal safety at college. I have two college students, and I thought this would be a good topic just to touch on. Just basically a few tips on just being safe around college campus or if you're going off campus. Uh, it's funny, a big thing that we do nowadays is we're all on our cell phones. We're all just like staring at our cell phones. We try to walk while we're looking at our cell phones. And, as much as it's funny to see somebody walk into a pole because they're not paying attention, we really need to have our head up and looking around at all times. We really need to kind of pull ourselves away from our cell phones when we're on foot. We don't want to we don't want to get into an accident. So also we should never be texting while driving in that. But really, your safety is important. We don't want you to get hurt. So you should always not be into your cell phone and looking down while you're actually on the move. So keep that in mind. The next thing is to use the buddy system, right? Always have somebody with you, especially at night. You should never travel by yourself at nighttime. We talked a lot about the buddy system when my kids were in scouting. Making sure you always go with a buddy when you're going somewhere, and that would also be important to utilize on the college campus. I have one college student that's at a city campus, so, pretty much once you step off the property, you're in Boston. So it's always important that you have a friend with you. You're not traveling alone. If you notice any suspicious activity, you should report that to campus police. We have used Life 360 in the past as far as tracking, but a lot of these college campuses will have their own tracking programs where if you hit an emergency button on your cell phone, they could quickly track you and find your location. So if that is an option, you should utilize those options. A lot of people get concerned about Big Brother, but in a situation like this, it's important that the responding units, those first responders, can get there to you as quick as possible, whether you're hurt, injured, somebody has been mugged. It's important that we can activate those systems very quickly. Moving inside, the dorm can be a very relaxed area. Everybody's floating around on the floors. People tend to leave doors propped open. It's really safe for you to make sure you lock your doors. Make sure you don't share key cards or keys or give password information for access to rooms. We want to make sure that we're always safe. Fortunately enough, a lot of these dormitories have proctors at the front door or security at the front door that you have to go through. I know where one of my children is. It's very secure. You can't get in to the front door or to the dorm areas without showing an identification like an ID and having the student come down and escort you to their room. And if you don't have your ID, like your driver's license, you're not getting in. So some campuses are a little more strict than others, especially those campuses in the cities where basically they're part of the community, so people have full roam of those campus areas. We want to make sure that those students are safe in their dorms. So a lot of them do have security that's at the main entrance to the dormitory areas. But again, don't share your information. Don't leave your doors unlocked. I've always protected my stuff. I've never, I've used lockers with locks on them and stuff like that. I'm a little bit over the top sometimes, but it's important to protect yourself and your personal assets. So make sure you keep everything locked up. If there is an emergency inside the dormitory or anywhere in campus, it is good to know where the emergency exits are and what the emergency plans are for that area as far as evacuation. Even with active shooter type situations in that, knowing what the plan is as far as, if we're going to run, hide, or fight, but sometimes there's shelter in place, or there could be an evacuation plan. So know that stuff before something happens. Occasionally college students like to mingle. So we want to make sure that, if you happen to go to a party, you want to make sure that you don't accept drinks poured by someone else. Those drinks could have stuff put into them, and we want to make sure that you're not at risk. So we don't want anything to happen to you. So definitely like make your own drink or have your own drink and make sure you don't leave it unattended. If it's left unattended, and you come back to it, I would just move on and get another drink. If you do go out alone, make sure that you let somebody know where you're going. You know, your parents aren't really around anymore. You're out on your own, but you probably have a roommate or a close friend at college. If you do have to go out by yourself, just send them a text and let them know what you're doing. Say, hey, just so you know, I'm going here tonight. Just wanted to let you know my whereabouts. Or even with that Life 360, friends can even, track you. Some people keep the tracking on Snapchat and stuff like that. So, you can utilize that stuff too for your personal safety. A lot of the colleges have after hours transportation, so don't be afraid to call for rides from your college, from the transportation services at your college to make sure you get back safely. If you're pretty far out from the campus, it's always good to, instead of walking back, to utilize some sort of transportation service, especially if it's from campus police or campus transportation. That might be a better route. And finally, a good thing to do would be to take a self-defense course. That way, if you are approached or possibly attacked, you know what to do in those emergencies as far as, preventing the attacker from hurting you and also getting away quickly enough that you can make an emergency phone call. So, take a self-defense class and also take a CPR and first aid class. Give me a call anytime. We can do an online class. We can do a live class. Again, my number is 978-335-5300. It's Jeff Morin at urgentresponse.net or email me, jeff@urgentresponse.net. Have a safe day.